Your password alone is not enough to protect you anymore. Hackers have found ways around it. But did you know there are actually 10 completely different types of two-factor authentication, each one protecting your accounts in a completely different way? By the end of this video, you will know exactly which one makes you truly safe. Let's get into it. SMS two-factor authentication sends a one-time numeric code to the user's registered phone number via text message whenever a login attempt is made, requiring the user to enter this code in addition to their password to complete the sign-in process. This is the most widely deployed form of two-factor authentication because it requires no additional apps or hardware. Virtually everyone already has a mobile phone capable of receiving text messages, making implementation and user adoption straightforward for service providers. Banks, email providers, and social media platforms were among the earliest mass-market adopters of SMS authentication, sending 6-digit codes that expire within minutes to add a second verification layer to account access. The significant security weakness of SMS authentication is SIM swapping, a social engineering attack where criminals convince mobile carriers to transfer a victim's phone number to a SIM card the attacker controls, redirecting all SMS messages, including authentication codes, to the attacker's device. Despite its weaknesses, SMS authentication is dramatically more secure than password-only protection. The majority of account takeover attacks rely on stolen passwords alone, and adding even SMS verification stops most automated credential stuffing attacks that use lists of breached username and password combinations. Authenticator App. Authenticator apps generate time-based one-time passwords directly on the user's device, producing a new 6-digit code every 30 seconds using a cryptographic algorithm that synchronizes with the service being authenticated without requiring any network connection. Google Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator, and Authy are the most widely used authenticator apps, storing secret keys from multiple services and generating valid codes on demand without any internet connection after the initial setup. The time-based codes generated by authenticator apps are significantly more secure than SMS codes because they are generated locally on the device rather than transmitted over the phone network. They cannot be intercepted through SIM swapping or mobile network vulnerabilities. Setup involves scanning a QR code displayed by the service during enrollment. This QR code contains the secret key that the Authenticator app uses to generate codes synchronized with the service's own code generation system. The practical vulnerability of Authenticator apps is device loss. If a user loses their phone without having backed up their Authenticator codes, recovering access to all accounts that use the Authenticator requires going through individual account recovery processes for each service, which can be time-consuming and stressful. Hardware security key. A hardware security key is a physical device, typically a small USB dongle or NFC-capable card that provides cryptographic authentication proof when inserted into a computer or tapped against a phone, replacing the need to type any code. YubiKey is the most recognized hardware security key brand used by major technology companies, including Google, which famously reported 0 successful phishing attacks against its employees after mandating hardware security key use in 2017. The phishing resistance of hardware security keys is their most critical security advantage, unlike codes that can be captured by fake login pages and immediately replayed by attackers. Hardware key authentication is cryptographically bound to the legitimate website domain and will not authenticate on any impersonating site. The FIDO2 and WebAuthn standards define how hardware security keys communicate with websites and browsers, creating an open, interoperable system where a single key can authenticate to hundreds of different services from any device with a compatible port or NFC reader. Hardware keys represent the highest tier of two-factor authentication available to consumers, recommended for protecting high-value accounts like email, financial services, and any account whose compromise would have severe consequences. Biometric Authentication. Biometric two-factor authentication uses unique physical characteristics, fingerprints, facial geometry, iris patterns, or voice prints as verification factors, confirming identity through biological measurements that cannot be forgotten, lost, or easily shared. Apple Face ID and Touch ID, Windows Hello, and Android fingerprint sensors are the most widely experienced implementations of biometric authentication, used by hundreds of millions of people daily to unlock devices and authenticate to applications. The security model of biometric authentication separates it from other factors. Biometric data is stored locally in a secure hardware element on the device and never transmitted to any server, meaning the biometric characteristic cannot be stolen through a data breach of a remote service. Liveness detection addresses one of the primary concerns about biometric authentication. Sophisticated systems use infrared depth sensors and analysis to verify that authentication is being performed by a living person rather than a photograph or three-dimensional model of a face. Biometric authentication combined with a device PIN creates a multi-factor system that is both highly secure and frictionless in everyday use. The combination of something you have, the device, and something you are, the biometric, meets the multi-factor requirement while taking less than a second to complete. Email-based authentication. Email-based two-factor authentication sends a one-time code or verification link to the user's registered email address when a login attempt is detected, requiring access to the email account as a second verification factor before granting access to the service. This approach is common in situations where a user accesses a service from an unrecognized device or location, triggering an email verification step before allowing the potentially unauthorized access to proceed. The security of email-based authentication depends entirely on the security of the email account itself. If the email account is compromised, an attacker who controls it can also complete email-based two-factor authentication for any service that sends codes to that address. Email authentication creates a circular dependency problem when the email account itself is protected by email-based two-factor authentication. Losing access to the email account could make it impossible to authenticate to both the email service and every other service that sends codes to it. Email-based verification is more commonly used as an additional signal for suspicious access detection rather than as a primary two-factor authentication method, flagging logins from new devices or unusual locations for email verification, while allowing regular access patterns to proceed without the additional step. Push notification authentication. Push notification authentication sends an approval request directly to an enrolled mobile device whenever a login attempt is detected, displaying contextual information about the login attempt and asking the user to approve or deny it with a single tap. Duo Security, Microsoft Authenticator, and Okta Verify are the primary push authentication platforms used extensively by organizations to protect employee access to corporate systems with a frictionless approval experience. The push notification includes contextual information about the login attempt, the application being accessed, the time and location of the request, and the device making the attempt, allowing the user to make an informed approval or denial decision. Push fatigue is a documented security vulnerability in push authentication. Attackers who have obtained a user's credentials bombard the user's phone with repeated push approval requests, hoping the user will approve one out of frustration or confusion, a technique known as MFA bombing. Organizations counter push fatigue attacks by implementing number matching, requiring the user to enter a number displayed on the login screen into the push notification rather than simply tapping Approve, ensuring the person approving has actually seen the login screen. TOTP hardware token. A TOTP hardware token is a dedicated physical device, typically a small card or key fob that displays a time-based one-time password on a small screen without requiring any connection to a smartphone or computer. RSA security tokens are the most historically significant hardware TOTP devices, widely deployed in corporate environments throughout the 2000s and 2010s to protect employee access to VPNs and sensitive internal systems. The independence of hardware tokens from smartphones makes them valuable in environments where mobile phones are prohibited, secure facilities, manufacturing floors, and classified environments where personal devices are not permitted, but strong authentication is still required. Battery life is the primary practical concern with TOTP hardware tokens. Devices typically run for 3 to 5 years before requiring replacement, which creates administrative overhead for organizations managing large numbers of tokens across their workforce. The same cryptographic algorithm underlying Authenticator apps powers hardware tokens. The difference is purely physical, with the token being a purpose-built device rather than a software application, offering no connectivity attack surface because it has no wireless or network capability whatsoever. Magic Link Authentication. Magic Link Authentication replaces passwords entirely, sending a unique single-use link to the user's email address that grants immediate access to the service when clicked, without requiring the user to remember or enter any password. The Magic Link approach eliminates the most common authentication vulnerability, password reuse, by removing passwords from the equation entirely and making the email account the sole authentication factor rather than one of two factors. Slack and various other productivity applications have used Magic Links as their primary authentication method, positioning the approach as a user experience improvement that removes the frustration of forgotten passwords while maintaining security through email access control. The time-limited nature of Magic Links is a critical security feature. Links typically expire within 15 to 30 minutes of being sent, preventing old links from being used if they're later exposed in email archives or forwarded accidentally. The security dependency of Magic Links is identical to email-based two-factor authentication. The approach is only as secure as the email account that receives the links, making strong email account security a prerequisite for the approach to provide meaningful protection. Passkey Authentication. Passkeys are a new authentication standard developed by Apple, Google, and Microsoft that replaces both passwords and traditional two-factor authentication with a single cryptographic credential stored on the user's device, providing phishing-resistant authentication that is both more secure and more convenient than any password-based approach. When a user creates a passkey for a service, the device generates a cryptographic key pair. The private key stays securely on the device, protected by the device's biometric or PIN, while the public key is registered with the service. Authentication happens when the user authenticates to their device using their biometric or PIN. The device uses the stored private key to sign a challenge from the service, proving identity without transmitting any secret that could be stolen. Passkeys are inherently phishing-resistant. The private key never leaves the device, and the authentication is cryptographically bound to the legitimate service's domain, making it impossible for a fake phishing site to capture credentials that can be replayed. Apple, Google, and Microsoft have all committed to passkey support across their platforms, with passkeys syncing across devices through the respective cloud keychain systems, addressing the device loss recovery problem that previously made cryptographic authentication impractical for most users. Adaptive Authentication.
Adaptive authentication uses artificial intelligence and contextual risk analysis to dynamically adjust the authentication requirements based on the assessed risk level of each specific login attempt, requiring stronger verification for suspicious access patterns while allowing trusted regular access to proceed with minimal friction. Instead of requiring the same authentication steps every time, adaptive systems analyze dozens of contextual signals: the device being used, geographic location, time of day, network characteristics, behavioral patterns, and comparison to historical access patterns to calculate a risk score for each login attempt. A user logging in from their usual device at their home network at a normal time might proceed with just their password, while the same user attempting to log in from an unfamiliar device in an unusual location at an unusual hour would be required to complete additional verification steps. Behavioral biometrics is an advanced component of some adaptive authentication systems, continuously analyzing how a user types, moves their mouse, or interacts with a touchscreen during a session to detect if the authenticated user has been replaced by someone else mid-session. Financial institutions are the primary adopters of sophisticated adaptive authentication, balancing the customer experience imperative of frictionless access for low-risk transactions against the security imperative of strong verification for high-value or unusual financial activities.
That covers 10 two-factor authentication types that protect your accounts. If this video helped you understand something new, make sure you subscribe to ByteSimple right now, because next week we're breaking down 10 online scams that steal your money. And trust me, you do not want to miss that one. Drop a comment below and tell us, which two-factor authentication type are you using right now? See you in the next one.